This is Tim Shepard from the Vintage Airstream podcast. Today I want to bring you another product from Wi-Fi Ranger. They sent me this Wi-Fi Ranger Osprey to introduce to y'all. It's a pretty actually interesting product, kind of hitting a little niche that is probably going to be coming out to a lot of trailers. So what's interesting, what it does is it takes your existing antenna on your trailer, and it turns it into a broadcast station for your Wi-Fi and LTE internet, without really, as a user, having to do very much, provided it's the right model antenna on the roof and it was installed right. So it's kind of unique, and it gives you all the Wi-Fi Ranger software enhancements that we've talked about on this channel a lot of times. So here's the box that it comes in, and when you look at the back of it, it says there's a little checklist here. It's kind of funny. It says, check, I own a WinGuard Air 360 Plus antenna, which is this here, and you check it off, and then you check the wires are available, a red, yellow, green, and a power, and I'll get into that in a minute. And then the last one is, of course, take it to the register and buy it. So when you do, this is what you get in the box. So let me talk about the 360 Plus. So this is a WinGuard TV antenna, and what's nice is about being a 360 is it'll pull in TV signals from every direction without having to turn it, like on our vintage trailers, we had to turn an antenna on a rotor, or even in your Airstream, modern Airstream, you might have to crank an antenna up and rotate it. Well, what the 360 antenna does is there's radios inside the dome here, and it'll pull in TV signals, VHF and UHF, from all different directions, as well as FM radio as well. What's the difference is with the 360 Plus is inside the dome here, I'll hold it up, I don't know if you'll be able to see inside, but inside the dome here there's some additional antennas for actually a WinGuard extender, but the Wi-Fi Ranger, which is a WinGuard company, they take advantage of it as well. So these are the different colors that it talked about. And inside here, there's two little antennas in addition to the TV antenna. One for LTE and another for Wi-Fi. And that's what these are for here to connect to. So what's going to happen is in your trailer, and I'm not sure if brand new Airstreams are doing this. I would think so, or if they're using these for sure, or regular square box trailers. What they'll do is this will be mounted on your roof for your TV. The cable will come down for your TV outlets just like normal, but on the top of your ceiling there's going to be a little plate, and behind that plate is for you to expand what the system can do and accessing these antennas. So you're going to see a square plate on the ceiling somewhere, right directly below where the antenna is on your roof. And behind that plate will be these three wires tucked behind, the red, green, and yellow. And there'll be a power wire that will power up the Wi-Fi Ranger Osprey. And so you don't have to climb on the roof, you don't have to run any cables or anything like that. You'll pull the little plate off, which will look just like a little wall plate, and then you use this little mounting bracket, and these holes will line up on the mounting bracket, and you'll mount this to the ceiling in your trailer, and then you'll run the wires through the hole in the ceiling, and then you'll plug them into the Osprey. And then once you're done, you slide it all together, it clicks into place, and you end up with this up on your ceiling, and you're good to go. So on the Osprey, you have the jacks here to take the yellow, the green, and the red, as well as the power. And it does come with a power connector included. And so once this is connected, these little gold connections that I just pointed out, those are all antennas. So what's nice about the product is you end up having Wi-Fi and LTE antennas outside your trailer. Because I'm sure if you're sitting inside your trailer, you're trying to connect to the hotspot at the campground, and you're trying to get outside the Airstream, all the aluminum, it really cuts the signal. Or if they don't even have Wi-Fi, then you're trying to connect to your cellular provider through the trailer again, which is a giant metal shield, and that makes it tough to get out. So I mean, that was the unique thing about all the Wi-Fi Ranger products, is putting the antenna on the outside. So that's what this does. This gives you a connection to LTE on the outside, and also Wi-Fi on the outside of the trailer. And it's like I said, it's kind of unique because you don't have to crawl up, provided you have this 360 plus already from the manufacturer. You don't have to climb up on the roof. You don't have to pull any cables when they have that little accessible jack inside, or plate rather, inside for you to access these wires. So I'll get into it a little bit more. I'm going to hook it up and see how the software looks, and I'll show you what that looks like. But yeah, kind of cool. Now, if you were doing this from scratch and you wanted a TV antenna, you know, and this is what you like, you lean toward. If you have a newer Airstream with a flat area in the roof, you know, this might work for you. A vintage trailer is a little more curved, so I don't know. I think some of the other Wi-Fi Ranger products that I've showed in the past, I think would be more compatible with a vintage trailer, especially if you're restoring your trailer like we all do and doing it from scratch. But I'm sure there's a lot of customers who have this. Very simple. They can get into the Wi-Fi Ranger line and all the unique software features that we've talked about before, and be able to reach far away Wi-Fi. And what's nice about this one too is LTE services. And the LTE services that it works with is AT&T, and also the WinGuard Freedom Go, which is a AT&T service. And I used that on our last trip, and it allows you to sign up monthly. So you could just, if you're going to go camping one time or 2 times in a year, you can just sign up and use it while you're out there. And it actually worked pretty well. So, all right, I will hook this up and let you know how it is. All right, I got it wired up here temporarily with a little power supply. And you'll see the antenna wires are now connected to the Osprey, and they're just little push-in, very simple. And then the power wire that came with the unit. And so there are 3 cables. So as I mentioned before, one's for LTE, and there's 2 Wi-Fi antennas, one for 5.8G and one for 2.4. So that's nice. It has the dual radios in there. So I'm gonna use my iPad here to connect to it and show you what's going on. So I'm going to hit the screen recording here on my iPad, and here we go. And so the first thing I'm going to do is go to the control panel and have it scan for a Wi-Fi, because now this is broadcasting Wi-Fi. And I did connect to it just a minute ago just to get my password in there. And the password is, the unit comes with this little quick install guide, and the password is change me now, and then 4 digits. And the 4 digits are the ones associated with the network name. So in my case, it's 4008. So change me now 4008. And the change me now, of course, kind of reminds you to go ahead and change it after you get set up. So right now I'm connected to my house Wi-Fi, Timbo Wi-Fi, and I'm going to go ahead and connect. You can see I have the Everest. That's what the Ranger they have installed on my trailer. And this here is the Osprey. This is the new unit right here. And there's the 5G here, and if I scroll down, these are the other networks. So here's the 2.4 that I have not connected to yet. That's why it's down here under Other. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect to the 5G now. So there it goes. Okay, oh, it connected to it already. And so now I'm going to open up a browser. I'm going to go to Safari here. And to get to it, as the little instruction sheet says here, you're going to go to myWiFiRanger.com. and it's going to connect you right here to the Osprey. Now, a minute ago, I did connect to my house Wi-Fi, and you can see that here with Timbo Wi-Fi. And but when I first connected to it, it didn't have this 5.8 here. It only had 2.4. So you could do the drop-down menu, you could get to the second radio. So let me show you where I had to go in here and fix that up. So you go to Setup, and my Wi-Fi, internal Wi-Fi 5G did not have a checkbox. So I checked it. And then this is what's the unique part about the Wi-Fi Ranger software over other products, is you have this control. So what this does is this shows the order of connections that the Osprey is going to try and find an internet signal for you. And so you use these little arrows here to move it up and move it down. You're like, I just want to move that down, connect it down, and there it goes. It's down. I'm going to go back up, and then back up. Then it goes 5G. So I have the 5G, which 5G is typically faster, provided you have a good connection to the hotspot. And the 2G, that's your secondary Wi-Fi radio. It's in the Osprey. And then of course the cellular. We talked about the AT&T and the WinGuard Freedom Go, the Freedom Go. And so that's what makes use of that. And then there's the Ethernet. So there is a hardwired here, but that's likely not to be underneath the plate in your ceiling. But if you were running one, because you want to hook it up to a network somehow, a hardwired network in your trailer, well, it's nice that it has that little option. So I just made that one last. And of course, any time you make these changes, you want to hit Save Changes. I didn't change anything, so I'm going to leave it. And you go to Wi-Fi here. And that's when you're going to change this Change Me Now password. Make sure you write it down. And that'll make sure that you secure that. And you can, of course, change the name of the SSID all you want. So I'll go back to the main here. And so what it does is it scans. You can see here it's scanning right now. So it's scanning with the 5.8 radio that's in here. Again, so the my iPad is connected to the Osprey, and the Osprey is using the antennas in the 360, which, if you would imagine, is outside on my roof. So it's finding all of these networks here. And you can see if you're in a campground, these ones are all AC, which is faster than N on the 2.4. Gigahertz. So if I hover my mouse over, you can see the signal strength. See it there? And you can see the bars here on the Wi-Fi signal here. This one's less and more. So imagine you're at a campground and they would have multiple antennas across the park to service the whole campground. You would easily be able to tell which one has the higher signal, and you could connect to that. Now, what I've done in the past is maybe in the evenings, you're connected to the Wi-Fi of the park, and maybe it's a little bit slow. You can go into your control panel here and just simply pick another one. You can go down and you can say, okay, this one's kind of slow. I'll pick this other one. Maybe there's less people using that physical network connection, and it's kind of nice. So you can pick and choose. Also, I think I mentioned on one of the VAP shows that with the Wi-Fi Ranger at one park, they actually didn't have Wi-Fi, but I was able to pick up signal from the next campground over, and we used that, and that really saved the day. You can also go in here and pick up 2.4 signals. So click here, and it's going to scan for 2.4 Wi-Fi. Now 2.4 Wi-Fi, 2.4 gig, it typically can go a little bit further, but it is slower. So if you have a strong signal on a 5.8, that's really what you want to use. So remember, my iPad is connected via Wi-Fi to the Osprey and bringing in all these signals through here. So I'll go back. So it says here I'm connected using 5G, so that's kind of nice. So I'll go back to 5G, and it turns green to show me which one I'm actually connected to. and the Everest is the other Ranger product I have, and at top of the list because it's got a stronger signal. Again, if I didn't have Wi-Fi, one nice thing about the Osprey and also the Everest product is they have the LTE. I'm not going to connect to it because I don't have service paid for on it, which you could do. Like when we were camping last time, I think I mentioned we connected to the Freedom Go service as kind of pay per use, and it worked great. Now the only thing I would caution you, I'm not sure about this Osprey, but on the Ranger, you had to have internet to connect and pay for the initial service on the Freedom Go. So if you know you're going to go camping and you want to use LTE, I would caution you to go ahead and set it up at home when you're connected to your home Wi-Fi, and that way you make sure you can get to their web page because it's all done via the web. You know, it has to be done in the web from the Ranger to get it connected, and then once then you're good to go. It'll stay connected, and you have all these options, and that's the unique thing about the Ranger products and why you choose the Osprey to connect to your 360 over another product, just because you have all this control. You can scan, you can use 5.8, you can use 2.4, you can, in the setup here, you can say the order that you want to use things. Maybe cellular is your priority, because honestly LTE is probably going to be a faster connection data wise than, you know, maybe the parks overused Wi-Fi. But you have all the options, you have all the control with the Ranger, Wi-Fi Ranger software. And you know, that is the nice thing. So I'll just go ahead and show you. I'll open up another tab here. I'll go to, I'll just go to MacRumors here. So there you go. It loaded up MacRumors, connected through the whole system here. So yeah, there you go. It's nice. So let me go to, let's go to Wi-Fi Ranger, and we'll go to the solutions and scroll down here, indoor routers, which is what the Osprey is. And here you go. Here's the Osprey right here. I'll click on buy now, and you can see all about it here. Now again, they want to make sure you got the 360 Plus on your trailer already, and you know, if you have that little plate, even before you order this thing, I'd recommend pulling the little plate off, checking for the 3 antenna wires plus the power. You want to have the power wire there too. And here's all the specs about it. It's got the full Wi-Fi feature set. It actually does support multiple carriers, not just AT&T. So you probably have to contact them about that. And the only options you have when you order is these the option of the category of the modem, LTE modem. And the higher the number, the faster. So this 12 will pull in faster speeds than the 6. But otherwise, yeah, there you go. I want to thank Wi-Fi Ranger for sending this out, and I hope it was informative to you. Really, really clever for people who already have a 360 Plus on their roof and a little plate up there with the wires. Really, really nice. All right, until next time, we'll see you down the road.